Hi and welcome. We are in the backyard of this beautiful under construction home on Longboat Key in Florida. We are right on the beach, and today I have with me Karl, who is the Director of Homes for Seaward Homes. He is going to be going over some of the reasons why we can build right on the beach like this and provide a worry-free lifestyle to the owners. So, Karl, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how a home like this even gets started.
Yeah, so good question. A home like this takes a lot of planning and effort. So it can take, up to three to 4 years from start to actually finish of a project like this.
Wow.
So really, when you go to the design phase, you might want to anticipate maybe a year and a half of kind of thought process before you even put a shovel in the ground.
Right.
So it's quite arduous. And something like that, if you're trying to build a house like this, you really need to get the right trade partners, the right design team, and that would be the architect, that would be the engineer, and the general contractor. And not try to be biased, but we love as a general contractor to get involved really early with the design team so that we can kind of help look together and collaborate and to share lessons learned and best practices, not only with what the owner wants for like an aesthetic standpoint, but what is reality and what's going to also help save money, but also give quality over actual, it might not be able to look that way. It looks great on paper, but maybe we need to change it, or maybe the architect can help us out and kind of guide us, and maybe we can make something reality that we've never done before. So there's a lot of things that we build that we've never even seen before. So that's a beauty. That's a beauty in building. It's
totally custom.
It's totally custom. Totally custom.
That's
so
amazing. And
yeah.
you guys do such a good job. So you really gather this team of experts. You have the architect, you have the engineer, and you have you guys as the general contractor. And you're all putting your heads together to think, how can we not only make this home beautiful, but make it here to last?
Correct.
So let's talk about the soil.
Yeah.
We're on the beach, we're on the sand.
Yeah.
How do we make sure this home isn't gonna, roll away with the waves?
Yes, that's a good question. Yes, so as you can see in this house, there's sand everywhere. The soil is not a good soil for a foundation on the coastal area. So what we have to do is we have to actually put in, for this job, we put in piles.
Okay.
So we've used auger cast piles. It's essentially a concrete filled deep foundation.
Okay.
So they drill down. This house, they've gone down to about 30 feet.
30 feet.
And they drill down, and then the concrete is filled in.
Oh, wow.
The 4,000 PSI grout, and then the rebar reinforcing cage goes in, and that's your pile.
Okay.
And so then once you have that pile that goes that deep, you have a cap,
Okay.
a pile cap that goes on top of that to encapsulate it. And then we have 67 piles on this job. So in between the piles, we have strap beams to help reinforce it. They connect from pile to pile to the caps. And then once you have that, then you can build, and what you see here, actually right here and over here, these are columns, and those go on top of the pile caps.
Okay.
And that goes up into the actual structure above, and it all ties together. So when there's loadings from your dead load, which is the building itself, and live loads, people, all that stuff walking around, that gets transferred all the way down from the structure to your columns, then to the pile cap, and then down to the actual piles, and distributes out into the ground. So that's how it stands.
Right. So this is not a foundation made of sand.
This is not.
A very sturdy structure.
Correct.
You're standing on top of lots of things under the ground that's really making this a secure place to build.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
All right, so when I think of hurricane and, all the challenges that brings, we think of rising tides, think of wind, think of flooding. Are those the major players that we're trying to build, up against?
Yeah, Alex, you're spot on. Those are the three components that we all have to mitigate to get against, whether it be design, structural, or the general contractor. We have to work around those three elements in order to be successful in building and designing, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So that's as simple as that, but it's much more complicated.
Each one is layered, right?
Many layers, many exponentially almost to a point. So yes, but that's what we build around.
So let's talk about that first one. When the tides are coming in and you see the water coming up and up and up. I mean, it very well could cover this whole area where we're standing,
Yeah.
right? So what are you guys doing in your homes to make sure that the homeowner is protected?
Yeah, so essentially the elevation of your house is the first portion, right?
Right.
So according to FEMA, your elevation has to be a base flood elevation that they dictate, but then you have to build above that.
Okay.
So as you look above here, there's a structural lowest horizontal member, which is your slab. That has to be at or above the base flood elevation plus freeboard.
Okay.
So
a little space above.
A little space above. And some jurisdictions, it's only 1 foot. Longboat Key here is 3 feet.
Oh, big space above.
Big space. Right, right.
And what is base flood elevation on this site? Do you know?
Base flood elevation on this side is 11 feet.
11.
So then you go up 3 feet, which get to your freeboard.
Yeah.
And then the actual lowest structure, 15 to 16 feet above. So we're actually higher than that as well.
Wow.
So that can help you with insurance premiums if you don't know. It's a good thing, right? Insurance is high these days, so
Yeah.
that can help as well. So
Yeah, so insurance is really only going to cover what is at that base flood elevation and above.
correct. Anything below that is essentially not covered.
Right? So where we're standing wouldn't be covered. So what are some of the things that we can look around and see how they're going to hold up, you know, should we have a storm event like we have in the past?
So good question. We actually had a case study on this house. The
Okay.
past 2 hurricanes that came through, we had the structure up, and I don't want to try to point out here, but this wall right here, all that across around the whole house is CMU masonry,
Okay.
but there's a gap at the top,
Okay.
expansion gap. It's not tied into the structure. So they're called breakaway walls. So you have your columns that are all structural,
Inside of what we're looking at.
and then you infill around with just masonry walls so that you can seal it off, but it's not tied to the structure per se.
Okay.
So what had happened is the storms came through and they're designed to fall. So after a certain pressure of water hits that wall, it's supposed to collapse. And the reason it has to collapse is because if that doesn't collapse and it's tied to the structure, there's extra force that gets applied to your main structure that it can't take.
Wow.
And it'll start to crack your main
You don't want that.
foundations, and it could potentially move.
Right.
And so that's why we have these design breakaway walls. In the hurricanes, all of these walls fell over. So it's not every day that you get to build something and see it actually come to life,
Yeah.
but it actually fell down and we had to redo them, which is fine,
Yep.
but nothing happened to the structure.
Wow.
We had
So
engineers came out.
functioned the way it was planned to function.
Correct.
It's been tested.
Been
That's-
tested.
Yeah.
2 hurricanes. 2 hurricanes.
That's incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
that would give a new owner so much peace of mind, I think, knowing,
Yeah.
you know, they're not going to have to worry about structural issues after a huge storm, that, you know, someone has been thinking about this and testing this and, you know, making sure that this is a property that's going to really be a lifetime property.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, this thing is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so then talk to me about the windows, because we have breakaway walls, but
Mm-hmm.
then I also see a lot of glass, which we want because it has a beautiful view.
Yeah, yeah.
But how does that hold up?
yeah, so the glass essentially, the glass we have is tied to structural components.
Okay.
The glass will break, so the water will be able to run through it.
Okay.
So it's designed for that glass to eventually break.
Interesting.
So you won't have to worry about that.
Yeah. But what about the upstairs?
Right.
Same? It's gonna break?
Well, no, that's wave action.
Okay.
Like if you have a tsunami or water coming from a tide,
Okay.
eventually that water could potentially push through.
Okay.
Push through.
Yeah, nothing stops water.
130 mile an hour water will go through concrete.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, the ground level is completely a different animal than when you're talking about upstairs.
Just because of the elements that it's facing.
Right,
Okay,
right.
gotcha.
So anything above base flood elevation, nothing's going to break that.
Okay.
I mean, you could have something that hits these impact glass, but the windows and the structure, they don't go anywhere.
Okay.
You might have to replace the panel,
Right.
but it's designed to withstand 130, 150. I think this house is 160 miles an hour.
Wow.
That can actually withstand. So, and some of these components can withstand over 200 miles an hour. So,
That's incredible.
so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Um,
So some really advanced building techniques here.
Advanced building, yep. And everything is designed by either a notice acceptance through Miami-Dade or Florida product approval.
Okay.
And they're designed and tested as such. So just because you're putting it in, you're relying on, well, we just put it in, it looks right. No, it's been tested before, so we know that it's going to perform.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when we talk about, if we do get this wave action coming in, and this whole thing is underwater, talk about like what's going to happen to the AC or the electrical outlets or some of that stuff.
Yeah, so when you're building a house like this, all those MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing components are all above base flood elevation.
Okay.
So
everything's 11 feet or higher?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
So you can come down after the storm and won't have to worry about electrical being in the way.
Yeah.
So
I actually remember a big problem on Longboat Key after the storms was people's Tesla chargers catching on fire.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was a problem. So even those would be up higher?
We have Tesla charger and we put it up higher.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great peace of mind.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing you want after a hurricane is a fire. Right?
Correct, correct.
I mean, it just
You don't want fire damage and flood damage.
Right?
So
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So what else? If you were thinking about buying this home, what would you want to know? What would put your mind at ease of like, this is going to be something that is built to last?
yeah, it's a really good question. I think the biggest question I would have would maybe be what we've already talked about is just the windows themselves. There's so much glass, and then the ground level, how does that work? Just knowing you're going into this job or this home that there's components of this house that are going to fail because they're designed to fail.
Right.
And understanding that, and it doesn't mean it's going to impact your overall longevity of your structure. And the fact that we live in Florida, we live in high velocity zones that we have to deal with sometimes. Maybe something is flying in the air and it hits one of our impact glass panels. You're still safe, but there might be a panel that's replaced.
Right.
We have what we call a layered glass system, so it's insulated. It's got 3 layers to it, and so it's not just one pane of glass.
Okay.
So just because one piece of glass is cracked, you have additional security and safety net.
In there?
Yeah.
It's got to be a heavy.
It's heavy.
Windows.
Some of these are up to thousands of pounds that we put in. So, yep.
Yeah, but worth it. For the peace of mind.
It's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it.
Amazing.
So.
And Seaward Homes has been building this type of home on the water like this. So I know you got to learn directly from this project, but it's not completed. You have other completed projects as well, and how are those holding up?
They've held up fantastic over the past couple of years of these storms. We've had no damage in terms of structure. There's been ground level damage that we've had to go back and help our owners with, but nothing has actually been impacted that we would hope that it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's been designed accordingly, it's been built accordingly, and our owners they're thrilled that it's actually performing with the actual real test of Mother Nature. So.
Well, that's the best testament you can get.
It
for
is.
Sure. Happy
Yeah.
customers. That's
Yeah.
what we like to see, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, I know you all have a great reputation in town, and I love to see your projects. They are truly changing the landscape of beachfront and waterfront lots here in Sarasota and on Longboat Key, and that's something that's really special. So
Much appreciated.
To be proud of.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thanks for talking to me today and helping me understand some of the techniques that you all use to enhance construction protection from hurricanes. And I think that's going to wrap us up for today.
Well, thank you so much, Alex, for having me.
I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.